Hey folks, this is Logan. I'm doing something new today. I'm going to do a grill stream. So first I want to figure out. Actually, I think the way that I have it right now is actually fine. So I'm having to do this both on my desktop and my mobile. Um, but right now it's showing just the grill cam, so that's good. Um, So, with that being said, I'm going to take you guys downstairs to the kitchen and we're going to get started with our, not really prep. I've already prepped most everything, but I'm going to show you the process for what we're going to cook today. So, give me 2 seconds. Let's see. Let's put this here. Let's see. Does that show? Oh, that shows me. All right, let's flip around. Okay. All right, that's a pretty good shot of that. All right, let's. Whoops, I exited StreamYard. Man, I am such a total noob at this. How do I? Jeez. Okay, hold on. I gotta swipe this down, then go back. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Okay, so we do have the chat. Let me join the chat. Connect to YouTube. StreamYard. Yeah, that's fine. Did that work? Continue. Okay, every time I want to connect to YouTube, it doesn't seem to work. That's okay. Let's do this. I want to get the link for the show. Let me actually turn off camera real quick. Let's figure this out. Let me do one thing real quick. I want to put this in the WhatsApp group. Paste. All right, it's official. We are going to go live with folks, and folks will join the stage. I never allowed anybody in the stage before. Again, this is my first stream, so let's see what happens. All right, so we'll just wait for folks to join us here. I don't think I've even mentioned what we're making today, actually. So what I have here is some chicken thighs. Again, I'm not sure how well that shows up on camera. I need to get, with the whole lighting game, I need to get Mathis in here to do that piece. Hey, Mr. G, thank you, man. I do appreciate your support there. But anyway, what we're doing today is we're going to be doing some chicken thigh on a spit, right? So I have the spit here, and then I have the actual, like the things that hold the chicken here. Again, if you're just now joining, these are the chicken thighs. And I'm going to be making this, I guess, for two things. One, I'm going to be making some tacos tonight, and I'm going to use some of this in there, and then I'm also going to be using it to make some salad later on in the week. Let me go back and just see if anybody has. No, we are not doing eggs today, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Um, let's see if anybody has. Okay, so I mean, I have pinned the link there. So if anybody wants to join, they can. But again, I'm probably gonna be going solo for most of this. So let's just go over, I guess, like what I've done so far. So I am cooking on a Kamado Joe Classic III, and I have what's called the JoeTisserie attachment. So what that allows you to do is have a spit, and then you have the actual, I guess, things that hold the meat in here as well. You will eventually just sort of slide those in. I need to undo these, I just realized. Let's do that real quick. So they'll come through like that, and then you can tighten. So I'll actually go ahead and do that for the first one here anyway. And what we'll do here is I have a cutting board. When I've done this in the past, you can use like plastic wrap, or you can even use like a like even like a garbage bag almost, like to not get your like workstation like super messy or whatever. But I'm just gonna wash this sort of afterwards. Like it takes me like 20 seconds to wash this, so I'm not too concerned. But again, what we'll do is we'll take some of these, and then we'll just kind of layer this on. Okay, so what we'll do here, we got one down. I think I have like 9 or 10 of these, so it'll be a decent amount. What I'm doing is I'm actually like kind of like rotating the spit a little bit, sort of each time I put one on. What this is doing is it's kind of more evenly, putting these around here. I try not to have a lot of like stuff sort of dangling down. If I do, then I just try kind of like sort of flip it over like that. So if anybody's in the backstage right now, sorry, I'm really not in a position to add people right now. Like my hands are extremely dirty and full of terrible salmonella, right? So can't really touch the screen right now. But I'm going to keep on going here. Let's do another one right here. So while we have sort of people joining here, I do just want to ask everybody, do you guys grill? If so, what do you grill? How often do you grill? What kind of grill do you have? I would love to know that. I will read your comments a little bit later on once things are on the grill and once things are sort of grilling and sort of under control and whatnot. I will take a look at the chats and I guess sort of greet anybody. But let's go ahead and keep going here. So we're almost done with this first, I guess, sort of claw, I guess you would say. I think that's about as much as it can hold. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to, let me actually wash them. I'm going to unscrew this one. And we're going to start going to put more chicken thighs on this side. So let me just swing around here just to see what's going on. Only for the egg talk. All right, yeah. Sorry, man. No eggs today, but hey, you can always do eggs on a grill. I mean, you can get like a cast iron pan if you wanted to, and make some eggs on the grill. One thing I do want to do later down the road is maybe do like a huevos, rancheros dish sort of over the grill. I think that would be interesting. Like I know that Boston has sort of done that before, like past streams. I mean, to be honest, like it looked fine, but I don't know if I would eat it. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think it was a good sort of just quick and dirty one. So, but again, if he had more time, then I'm sure that he can make a perfectly fine version of that dish. But um, I think I'm on my last one now. So what I'll do, let's do it like that. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned, but the seasoning. Let me make sure this fits first. Does that latch on? Let me unscrew it a little bit more. Yes. All right, so let's squeeze these down pretty good here. I'm going to tighten these up now so these don't move around. Actually, one thing that I should have done before this was I should have gone to the grill itself and find what the center is. Um, what I'll probably have to do is slightly sort of readjust where this is on the spit. But I think this is okay for now. Let's go ahead and wash up a little bit here. I'll wait until I'm done here before I tell you what I was going to tell you just a moment ago. All right. I've run out of paper towel. Actually, there's one right here. One that I used earlier, but it's going to work. So the spices here. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. I'm using basically 3 parts smoked paprika, 1.5 parts onion powder, 1 part garlic powder, half a part white pepper, half a part black pepper, quarter of a part thyme, quarter of a part oregano, and like 1/8 of a part of cayenne pepper. So this is a good sort of all-purpose, I guess, chicken rub if you want. I do have like products from Meat Church. They're a pretty good brand in terms of just all-purpose. Let me organize my cabinets a little bit better. So I mean, I do have these, right? So I would say if you're going to buy anything from Meat Church, get the Blanco first. So this one it's basically just salt, pepper, and garlic. So you can use that on pretty much anything. That's sort of your base layer, I guess, if you want. They do have other flavors and sort of mixtures here and whatnot. When I'm doing like a pork butt or something, I will typically do like a holy cow or like the holy gospel. But again, I'm not using any of these today. This is more just just for your general sort of knowledge. Again, I do prefer to actually like do most of my seasonings sort of like sort of just made from scratch, I guess. You can control sort of how much of one thing you get in there versus another, right? But what I'm going to do now, this is a meter probe. So essentially, it's like a Bluetooth thermometer that you can stick into your meat when you're grilling. So that way, sort of how far off or sort of how the cook is going while you're cooking here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a fairly thick point in the meat here. I think that'll do for now. Again, I'm probably going to have to change sort of where this is sort of layered here, but again, what I want to do now is actually take you guys outside, and we're going to go actually put this on the grill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn off the camera real quick. So we have a question from Kevin. How much meat is that, and how long will this last? Last meat. Okay. So again, I want to say there was like 9 or 10 thighs on here. And this will last me for like the whole week. Again, I'm going to use this for some tacos tonight. I may even do tacos tomorrow night. But it's also going to go into some salad that I'll be making like for like my lunches later this week. So Okay, so I think I'm caught up on the chat here. Again, Kevin Small G, thank you for joining me on my first ever grill stream. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you guys outside, and then we'll pick up from there. So bear with me for a moment. I actually need to get something to put this down on. Some foil. Let's put this. All right, so there's that. And what else do I need? I think that's okay for now. Okay, I'm going to take you guys outside. So just for your awareness, I live in a sort of just like a modest townhome, sort of northeast of downtown Nashville. Um, so it's nice because I do have enough space for a grill, which is always good. I'm going to turn the camera back on here. So that's the grill right there again. That's the Kamado Joe Classic III. Close the door here. So, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if I've necessarily positioned this the right way. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Sticking to the foil. So notice how it's off to this side, like my left, your right, a little bit too far, whereas we have a lot of space over here on the right. I may have to adjust this. So let me do this. What I do first typically is I have these like fireproof, well, not fireproof, but again, I think these are rated up to like 900 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to put these on, and we're going to go under the hood here. So let's take a look. I have my embers and sort of coals off to one side of the basket. So okay, so this is how it's going to be running here, sort of in that direction. I do have a motor here that will essentially, um, sort of keep it moving throughout the cook. But again, this is probably good right now. I didn't even check the temperature. This is like, I guess, like getting close to 400. I do want to keep this around like 350-ish. So I might even actually open this up a little bit. But hey, Essie, Vimal, Buckley, hey guys, thank you for joining. So again, this is what I have right now. What I'm going to do real quick is just see, I need to move this down. So I'm going to see how far off this is from the center. This off here. So if I position this, yeah, okay. So notice how like it's like really far off to the left here. What I need to do is actually unscrew this a little bit, put it more towards the center, and then I can actually put this on to start the cook. So I will leave you guys here just for a moment. In the background, I'm going to be kind of repositioning. Thank you guys for joining. If you guys do cook, what do you cook? Do you grill? How often do you grill? What kind of grill do you have? Again, would love to know all this. And again, feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I do have the link there. If anybody wants to join me, they certainly can. However, I do have very chickeny hands right now, and I probably won't be able to get to you for a little bit here. After I do this, I'm actually going to wash my hands again. But tightening that, getting this one tightened down. So I think this is going to be more centered now. I need to put on my gloves again. Okay, let's see how far off this is. Actually, let's do it like this. I think that's closer to the center. I do want to move it a little bit more to the right, so give me 1 second. So normally what you would do, maybe, I forgot to do this, but um, normally what you would do is you would actually put one of these steaks down first, um, and you would kind of put that on the grill first to see where it is, and then once you're happy with where one of them is, you would then go and start to put on the chicken, you would put the other one on, and you wouldn't have to do it on there. But let's probably do this without gloves, honestly. Let's put this down here. Yeah, so that's more centered, right? So, I mean, it's actually a little bit too far to the right, but I think it's actually okay now. So I think this is good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to turn on the rotation portion of this stick. Um, so again, something else I need to do right here is I actually need to get the probe going. So again, like I do have like a Bluetooth probe right there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wash up a little bit right now. And also this needs to get back up to like 350. Currently we're sitting at about 250 right now, so we need about like 100 degrees. Um, but okay, cool. So I'm going to leave you guys there for like 2 seconds. I'm going to go wash up a little bit, and then I'll come back. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's get caught up with the chat. Oh, I just realized this is off. Too far from the mic now. Yeah. I stepped away just for one moment there, just to get my hands washed a little bit. I mean, I don't want too much of this sort of chickeny goodness on my hands. But okay, so Essie actually grills twice a week. That's awesome. Kids love it. Perfect, man. Essie, what kind of grill do you have? Do you have propane? Do you have charcoal? Do you have a smoker? Uh, Again, I would would love to know that. Um, so in this, again, I do anticipate this to take maybe, I don't know, like an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours. I think we are getting back up to temperature now, which is good. I'm actually going to close this bottom vent. So, in case you don't know, I guess how this style of grill works is, so there's two vents. You have a bottom vent and then you have a top vent. You can actually open this one up. Ooh, that's too hot for me. You know what? That was dumb. I need to actually get a full. There we go. So you can actually open that up sort of all the way. Again, the more air that you introduce, the hotter it's going to get. You do have this sliding sort of piece here that'll, again, that allows you to pick sort of how much sort of air you want to get in there. Now, because I'm actually a little bit over my target right now, I'm actually going to like keep this slightly closed. That's going to, put it back down closer to the 350 mark. And again, you noticed me earlier here. I kind of put that at like a finger width, I guess, open. So what that does is it keeps just enough air to keep the fire going, but it doesn't like let the fire go out, basically. Again, so let's just take one more look here. Again, so that's what it's looking like right now. But again, I'm thinking this will likely take like an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours, just based on what I did last time. So I've done this cook one other time. But again, that's roughly how long it took me to do that. So what I'm actually going to do now, guys, I will actually flip this back over to me. Oh, geez. Man, I am not ready for the camera. I'm not looking too hot right now, I have to admit. Um, But what I'm going to do is I figure I would open this up um, to anybody that wants to hop on the panel and talk here. Um, and I mean, I do have a beer here. It's not really a can frame. I do have a little bit of cigars here. So again, this is just more of a chill stream. You guys are welcome to join me. We can talk grills, talk food, anything you want. Hey, watches. Watches are always a popular topic. Pillow one. Pillow one. Um, I actually have some sunglasses inside. Let me go grab some real quick. Much for sort of camera worthy, I would say. So, so let's see. SC, okay. SC, you have a Weber. Awesome. Awesome. Used to do coal, but moved to over too lazy. Yeah, dude, I get it. Like, so gas, like my pick, in terms of like quick sort of weekday grilling. I mean, does it taste charcoal? No, right? But it does at least give you that sort of fire flavor, you know. But again, I mostly do charcoal these days. I only got the Kamado Joe like a little over a month ago. Like I want to say 6 to 7 weeks ago now. Since then, I've done a brisket on it. I've done several steaks on it. Done some veggies on it, of course. I mean, again, I did do this cook uh, about like 2 weeks ago. I think. Yeah, just for 2 weeks ago. It was more of like a Mediterranean chicken style, but but again, this one is more of just a sort of all-purpose sort of grilled chicken. Again, you can again you can grill sort of chicken breast like on anything really. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you cook it on. Sorry, thighs. I think I said breast earlier, but I meant thighs. But again, I typically like to do my chicken a little bit warmer than 165. Again, sort of 165 is your sort of standard that you would cook sort of most things to. Uh, and for chicken, like it's definitely up there. But for dark meat chicken, I typically like to do like 170 because I feel like if you take it off at 165, typically it it's still a little bit rough in my taste. Let's see. Let's see. Only thing hotter is the grill. That's right. That's right. Thanks, man. Uh, so I haven't really actually. We're getting quite a bit of smoke here. I just want to make sure it's not dripping down too much. Let me flip this back over. Let's see how we're doing. So it is dripping a little bit, and it is kind of getting down to the coals. I'm putting some of the coals, I guess, slightly off here. But again, this is already looking pretty good here. Like we haven't even been going, but like maybe 5 minutes on this. So it's going to get better and better as time goes on. I'm going to switch back to my ugly self, and I'm actually going to grab more charcoal to actually put on this because I'm afraid if this continues to drip and drip, then essentially we might actually put out the fire. I'm actually going to flip this back over here so you guys have something to look at while I'm getting more charcoal. So I use sort of like the actual sort of branded charcoal. Again, this is this is sort of the big block for the lump charcoal. There are other brands out there, and I've heard good things about Fogo. Um, I actually just went over to Home Depot today and actually got some Fogo. That's probably what I'll use next time, maybe. Um, some folks say like charcoal really changes the flavor. Um, I don't know if I agree with that yet. Again, I haven't done enough testing to really sort of prove that, I guess. Right? Let me get one more piece. Probably good for now. All right. So we did lose quite a bit of temperature there because I had it open for quite some time, but that's fine. All right. So this is going to continue to go back up to like that 350 mark that we want. But I'll flip back to myself here. And sorry, by the way, if you hear a lot of with the AC units, I guess. So again, I mean, I do live in sort of a tightly compacted sort of area. So these are all sort of townhomes here, 2 stories, and of course they're all sort of connected. So again, a lot of the AC units are going to be sort of turning off and on throughout this. So let me see who we have here. All right. So I think I'm going to pop this beer open here. Oh, you know what? One thing that I forgot to mention. So I mean, again, I don't think you guys are sort of know this or not, but again, I think for me to do StreamYard Mobile, I have to essentially like have like a certain number of hours streamed and things like that. So this stream is actually being hosted from my desktop, and sort of in my office upstairs, and so like basically I had to join the stream over my phone to be able to do this. So I'm kind of cheating the system here a little bit, but. So this is a I'm not even going to try to like say that or like whatnot. I'm sure the SE could say it, like it's like a German beer, but again, it's like it's sort of like a Hefeweizen, right? So typically that's going to be made with more fruits, sort of like an orange or again like sort of bananas and whatnot. I really don't know too much about beer, honestly. I'm not a big beer drinker. I do prefer wine and sort of whiskey and sort of scotch and that sort of thing. But there are certain occasions and certain times of year that I will have beer. Like sort of like the grilling time of year. It seems only natural to have beer, right? I mean, I don't sort of delve into the sort of white trash, sort of the Bud Light stuff, and but again, a good sort of German beer is good. So again, anyone who is drinking along with me, cheers. Oh, but again, going back to like the whole setup thing. So I do have, I guess, like the main show running through my desktop upstairs. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good for thank you, Essie. I do agree. But again, I do have my stream running through my desktop right now. That I think that's where you can actually like add people on and sort of whatnot. I may actually run up there here in a little bit just to see like if anybody's backstage. If you are backstage, then I'm super sorry. I can't let you on through my mobile through like my phone. because I'm being treated as like a guest, basically. Right? I got to hop off, but you got one subscriber and the notifications set to all. Very cool idea, Logan. Hey, thank you, SC. I do really appreciate that. I just actually saw that Evan G subscribed too. So again, Evan G, thank you very much, man. I do appreciate that. Again, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel. This is actually a channel that I've had for over 10 years. I used to, okay, at a brewery, so I'll catch up at home. Hey, yep, thank you, Evan G, no worries. So I've had this channel for like over 10 years. And I guess something you may not know about me in my sort of past life was, I mean, I'm very much like a big sort of bass player and sort of a guitar player. I played in several bands in high school. So, again, something never actually sort of got anywhere, right? And then like we mostly played bars and honky tonks, sort of down here in the South, right? Again, it's like I am sort of based in Nashville. So country music is very big here. I'm personally not a huge fan of country music, but again, some like some sort of older stuff, like the George Strait stuff is fine, whatever. I think back then, country really had a lot more meaning to it, and like the lyrics were much more sort of sort of much more meaningful, right? But again, like for us to, actually get paid gigs, I did have to learn a bunch of country music and all the sort of country standards and whatnot. So that was definitely sort of like a fun sort of time in my life. Again, I mean, I didn't really enjoy the music all that much. But sort of every weekend I might get one or two gigs. It might be like $20 here and $50 there, maybe if I was lucky, right? Since I live in Nashville, there's these sort of videos that I've been watching lately, where like new musicians will actually sort of like share sort of what they make, sort of like for every gig or whatnot. I mean, it sounds like, if you're at like the bottom of the barrel, like $50 a gig is sort of pretty standard. Um, even on like the low end of like the totem pole, you can still make $100 a gig, maybe like $150. If you are like a regular and you've been doing this for a long time, it might be more like $300 a gig, or maybe even 500. But again, I will still sort of play from time to time, not necessarily like with a band, but if there's a song that I learn, like I hear and like it has like a catchy bass line or something, then I will definitely sort of pick up the bass again and sort of learn it. Doing sort of same thing, same thing on the guitar too. Like if there's like a new song that like I hear, or something that is new to me, I guess, then I might sort of go off and sort of learn that song, I guess. But again, I mean, I haven't had much interest in, I guess, like playing with like a band again. Again, like back in high school, it was more like there was a sort of inner circle of people who played, and I kind of rotated between, this guy on drums and this guy on guitar and whatnot. So my the grill is actually starting to smoke up again quite a bit here. I just want to make sure it's not getting too hot, because like there's actually good smoke and bad smoke, or sort of so what they call sort of dirty smoke. So these are already looking, pretty good. I just realized I actually never set up the probe, so that's something that I'll probably have to do off screen. It's an app sort of on my phone, so I'll have to kind of duck out for that just for a minute. But again, I think the new lumps of charcoal are doing okay here. There still is some flame here, and like they are getting sort of on fire. But again, what I probably should have done is actually patted these down a little bit so that there's not so much sort of coming off, right? So that might be what's sort of putting out the flame here. But again, I'm gonna actually, you know what? I will keep you guys right here. What I want to do is I'm actually gonna run upstairs real quick back to my desktop and see if there's anybody in the backstage that I can let on. And I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So I don't have anybody in the back room. No worries. I mean, again, this is the very first stream. I loosely did, uh, loosely sort of did some advertising for this. I pasted it in the uh, in the group chat for the colony um, over on WhatsApp. Um, so again, you know, when I do have sort of more exciting cooks and sort of things that I want to sort of make sort of on stream, then I'll certainly use this channel for that. But again, going back to what I was talking about earlier with like the band and sort of stuff like that. This channel used to be a lot of like my covers. Like I did like a lot of like Iron Maiden covers. I did a lot of Dio, sort of just like the heavy metal, sort of hard rock, Metallica, that type of thing. Um, so, um, so I've actually decided to like unlist a lot of those videos because I don't want people to be confused. Like, hey, I thought this was a real stream, or whatever, right? So I kind of want to repurpose this channel. Kind of like what Tim did actually. So he had his channel for a long time, and then he was doing like Call of Duty stuff and whatever. Um, but then he eventually pivoted to watches, right? And then he kind of repurposed the channel and got like 10K subs and all that. So I'm kind of doing something similar here with that. I want to repurpose this to grilling and sort of grilling tips and whatnot. I don't plan on doing like grilling tip videos or whatever like that. I mean, um, I will continue to kind of do these streams, and I'll give tips, throughout the stream, but I don't plan on doing like a whole sort of lights and sort of a production and script and all that. I mean, it's too much work, man. Uh, a little bit lazy in that sense, but anyway, so there's nobody in the back room, so that's fine. What I want to do now actually is see if I can get my. It's an app called Meter Plus. I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? I actually need to move the probe close to the actual module. right, so I got so okay, so like it's like the probe itself has this little like wooden home thing that it has to be close to like in order to actually do the temperatures and whatnot. So I'm in the background right now getting that set up. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky. Okay, so okay, nice. Okay, so it's working. So right now we're at 128 internal. Again, I want to shoot for like 170. So this may actually turn out a little bit quicker than I anticipated. The internal temp is a little bit hotter than I want it to be, so that's probably why it's going so fast. Let me just set up the cook, poultry, chicken, thigh. Uh, yeah, okay, let's do that. Uh, let's start cook. Sound output. Okay, that's fine. So let me go back to you guys here. Oh, geez, that's way too close. At the brewery. Okay, cool. Let me flip you guys back around here. Cool. Let me actually adjust the vents a little bit, just to bring the temperature down a little bit. All right. Let me flip around actually so that you can. Geez, man, I am such a noob. Let me actually flip you guys over. I think that's. Let's flip. Oh, you know what? Oh, can I zoom in on this? No, I don't think I can. Let me actually just kind of put it right there. All right, I think that's all right. Anyway, so so we've already talked about, I guess, like where I kind of want this channel to go and all that and whatnot. Again, I don't plan on doing like something like every weekend. If I happen to be grilling on that weekend, then sure. I mean, I might do a stream of it. Um, but I may not necessarily like stream like every meal or every cook necessarily either, because that can get kind of tiring and whatnot. But whenever I have a cook uh, that I feel is worthy of a stream, or I mean, if I have a cook that may take a little bit of time, like this one, I can chat with you guys and just kind of make it sort make it make it sort of more entertaining, like both for me and you, right? But anyway, that's sort of the plan here. Again, I mean, I'm thinking I might do like 1 or 2 streams a month, maybe right now. If I get more time later on to do cooks and whatnot, then great, and I might do more. Uh, but that's kind of what I have in mind for the channel right now. I don't know if I'm going to smoke actually. I brought these out here, but I might just save a smoke for for Diego's stream later on. So in case you don't know, Diego's doing a stream later tonight. I want to say it's like 7 or 8. Okay. So Nashville is in Central Time, by the way. So when I say times, it's usually like in Central. I want to say it was like 7 or 7:30 Central, so maybe like 8 or 8:30 Eastern. But uh, but again, so he's doing a stream later tonight. I might do a smoke then, but I'm usually not one to kind of smoke in the middle of the day. I do prefer smoking in the evenings. Like one because it's like cooler, I guess, and and when the weather is nice, I will sort of smoke during the day too. Um, but I mean, I might have a cigar like right now. I think I have one like once a week, um, but I kind of want to cut that down to like maybe like every other week or maybe just like once a month, to be honest. Obviously, it's not good for your health, but again, you kind of take up this hobby like knowing that, sort of going in, right? Uh, right. So it's like it's not like I want to smoke and also be healthy too, because you can't have both. Uh, but um, but again, I like to do it more just to just sort of unwind, sort of relax. You know what? While this is cooking, actually, I guess I could show you guys a little bit of my sort of figure out how to get this um, back into. Oh, here we go. Okay. I'll take you guys inside for a moment just to um, let me close the lid actually so that it doesn't get um, too cool in there. Um, but I'll see you guys. Um, I will show you a little bit of my cigar collection here. Again, I mean, I don't have a lot. I have I have a few things, or just like a few sort of standards, I guess, right? So I'm gonna flip you guys back around here. So let's take a look at what I have. Um, so I have sort of like a digital sort of hygrometer, I guess. So these are the Olivas. Hey guys, sorry. I don't know what happened. I think somehow I was kicked from the stage, um, and I think it might have happened back when I was doing the thermometer thing. Actually, I think when I was going into that other app, it might have kicked me to the backstage. So sorry about that. I don't know how long that lasted, like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes or so. One thing that I was showing you guys, I guess during that time that I just realized that maybe you guys didn't actually see this, but I was showing you my cigar uh, collection here. Oh, that's not what I want. Here we go. Um, so I do have a like a multi-layered sort of humidor here. I try to keep it at like 69 and 70-ish. But again, one of my big brands is I do like the Olivas. So this is the Connecticut Reserve here. This is sort of like my go-to, sort of like the best sort of bang for buck sort of value, I guess, brand that is out there. They do have a lot of nice stuff, and I recommend them to anybody who wants to get into cigars, or just sort of wants something to start off with. I do also have their Series V um, double, okay, double Robusto. Those are really nice too when you want like a darker wrapper. Um, I do actually have a couple Cubans here. I do have the H. Upman Magnum 54s. So those are really, really nice. I typically save those for like a nicer sort of occasions and whatnot. Um, but again, I do have a guy that sort of hooks me up and whatnot. So um, when you want a shorter smoke, I really like these sort of Arturo Fuentes. These are what they call the short story. So this is like a 20 to 30 minute smoke. Again, not like a huge commitment, but again, those are nice. Again, I do have more sort of Olivas down here. This is like a much larger version of of sort of that one here that we have up there. I do have like some O series as well, and then I'm actually forgetting what this one is called. But anyway, I also have some shorter stuff here from Ashton. Again, these are like 10-minute smokes. But like maybe like every other weekend, I will have a Padron. This is sort of like my next level up that I like to have. When you don't necessarily want the just a sort of standard sort of run of the mill stuff. I do like these sort of 1926s quite a bit. Um, but anyway, I wanted to show you guys that again. I was showing that, but that was during the time that I didn't realize I was backstage. So another sort of goof moment here for my first stream. I'm going to take you guys back outside, uh, back to the grill, just to check up on our chicken thighs here. So let me take you guys out there here and see what's going on. All right, so let's put this on. So we're sitting at, I guess, like right kind of where we want to be, just maybe like 350, maybe slightly under that. These are looking really nice now. So again, um, there's some like they are dripping quite a bit here. What I might actually do is actually put a little bit more charcoal on, like maybe towards the back, so that we can still keep the flame going. But again, not so much of this sort of dripping here. So I think that's actually what's causing it to maybe go down a little bit. So I'm going to turn off. Or actually, you know what? I don't have to turn off. I can just do this. I'll leave you guys there and get a bit more charcoal. Close that. All right. let's add some more charcoal here. Again, I do see it dripping quite a bit. Again, I mean, and I probably should have you know, maybe dry these off a little bit more, but that's. So we do have a bit more in there right now. I do want to check the internal temp, but I'm afraid that that's going to boot me from the stream again. So let's just chill out for like another maybe 5 or 10 minutes here, chat a little bit, and then I will probably go upstairs, and I'll have to kind of like let myself back in, basically. So again, sorry if you were watching during that sort of blackout. I did a blackout. But anyway, so let's take a swig. So I think I mentioned this sort of earlier on, but again, um, my channel used to be a lot of guitar stuff. I would love to know sort of if any of you guys play guitar, play bass, or anything like that. Back when I first started watching sort of sort of back when I first started watching the Timeless Watch channel or Machine O'Malley. One of the big things that sort of drew me into his channel was he played bass, and of course, I mean, I don't agree with his political extremism, right? So I mean, I've never really bothered to reach out about him about sort of that, or even sort of bass playing or anything like that. But again, I mean, so don't get me wrong, the Machine like definitely does a lot of great documentaries. I mean, he's very artistic, but again, I mean, I guess from a political perspective, he's definitely not my jam. I did notice that there's a little bit more comments here. Yeah, so Kevin, again, thank you for letting us know about the no sounder video. I probably lost a lot of you during that period. Again, that was probably like a 10 or 15 minute time frame that I was kicked. I guess again, I went into my sort of probe app, or sort of like my sort of a thermometer app, and I think that kicked me out probably. OC, good to see you, brother. Thank you for the support. Evan G, at some point I'll get my rotisserie ad on for the BGE. Yeah, exactly. So in case you guys don't know, the BGE stands for the Big Green Egg. So that's sort of like, I guess, like the more mainstream competitor to the Kamado Joe. So the Big Green Egg is kind of like Spirit Airlines a little bit. Everything is sort of added on. So when you first buy a Big Green Egg, you get very little in terms of like what comes with it. You get just maybe 2 basic rates, and if you want more, okay, we gotta go buy those. If you want sort of all the fancy sort of attachments like the rotisserie and all that, those are going to be sort of things that you have to buy sort of later on. When you buy the Kamado Joe, you get quite a bit sort of when you first get into the box. You get sort of I'm trying to remember what they call them, but like they're sort of a deflector plate. So you can use this grill sort of as like a 2-zone cooking. And so what that means is one side is going to be like really hot and sort of like directly over the coals. The other side might be like at a cooler temperature, like maybe for like internal cooking, right? So essentially, what you want to do, like again, that's what I do for steaks. When you want to have a certain doneness to a steak, I typically do a nice hard sear for 30 seconds to like a minute. and then essentially what I'll do after that is I will, like, once it looks nice and sort of once it gets to the color that I want it to be, I'll move it over to the other side, sort of like the secondary sort of cooler zone, um, to bring it up to a internal temp that I prefer. Again, I'm sort of a medium to medium rare type of guy. I typically like a doneness of 135 to 137, somewhere around there. Um, what I typically do is I'll pull it off closer to like 129, 128, something like that. And then it will internally raise off, raise up to the temperature that you want it to be. If you were to pull it off at 135, it's going to be closer to 140, 142, because it has sort of like the carryover cooking still going on inside it. And let's see what Evan says here. Am I doing some sourdough pizza here? So yes, I do remember you saying that could be great. I have the half moon deflector as well. It's a full deflector. Yeah, no problems. You can't just throw away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean they do tend to have sort of accessories for pretty much every need. The Kamado Joe has something called the Dojo, which is sort of cleverly named, right? I mean, so dough is in like pizza dough, and Joe for Kamado Joe, but it almost sort of turns into like this Japanese thing almost, right? The dojo, but it is basically a pizza oven attachment kind of for your Kamado Joe, and I mean I just don't see myself making that many. I mean, again, I do love pizza. It's awesome, but I don't see myself shelling out like 2, 3, $400 or whatever, um, for that one attachment, right? I did shell out money for the JoeTisserie. Like I want to say it's like $200 or $300 because I could see myself using that way more than I would a pizza oven. But if a nice chunky bonus comes along or something, and I don't have anything to spend money on, then I might just grab that. Right? I do want to check the internal temp of. Actually, here let's see, Evan. If it does the Kamado Joe have a cult? No, there's definitely like Facebook pages out there, and there's like 20,000, 30,000 people on them. I I think there is a cult, but maybe not as big of a cult as there is for, for the big green egg, basically. So again, the big green egg is much more mainstream, but I think Kamado Joe is the better product overall. Anyway, I do want to check the internal temp. I want to make sure I'm not going over anything. This may kick me out. So if it kicks me out, if you just sort of hang tight, and then I'll get back in. Okay. So let me go back to meter. Okay, so we're sitting at 153. All right. Okay, so I thought it kicked me, but it didn't. So I'm actually back in my office right now. Okay, so if I didn't get kicked earlier from being in the thermometer app, then I don't know what kicked me. So that was strange. I also just wanted to see whether anybody was in the backstage or not. I think I have like 2 viewers right now, which is totally fine for me. Uh, Again, I actually did not expect anybody to join this first stream. But again, thank you for those that did show up. I do appreciate that. I also wanted to get my ThermaPro um, thermometer pin. Let me turn you guys back on to me. Okay, there we go. Okay. Um, so, uh, if you're a serious home cook, you need. Let me flip you guys around. Okay, that's a little bit better. If you guys are a serious home cook, you need one of these. Other way around. This is a Thermopin made by ThermoPro. They have several different sort of generations from this. I got this like 2 years ago, maybe? Like 2 or 3 years ago. Um, okay, dude, I accidentally dropped one of my Chef IQ thermos. Oh man, last time I used it, real lucky. Dude. I actually thought that I broke my my meter pin because like again, like I don't know if you should really be doing this or not, but I threw it in the dishwasher just because it had started to cake up sort of quite a bit of sort of sort of cooking residue. I mean, I do like sort of wash it sort of every time that like I use it, but there's this stuff that like you need a little bit more sort of elbow grease, I guess. I decided to throw it in the wash one time. It's from like the dishwasher, not the clothes washing machine, but I threw it into the dishwasher and like the way that like my dishwasher is, I guess like there's these little holes that are like at the bottom of where you would put like the silverware and whatnot. Um, and and it had fallen. Well, it's partially fallen through one of those holes. When I was opening the dishwasher to get everything out, uh, I could hear a cracking sound. And what had happened was as I was opening and pulling the drawer out, there I think it had like cracked or something like that. Because it was kind of lodged sort of halfway down the hole or whatever. And I did hear like one crack, and then I sort of immediately stopped, and like thankfully it still worked. Like I didn't see any damage or anything on it, and it seems to be working still. So I'm happy about that. But what I like to do is I like to use this for all my final temperatures. Like this is sort of like the source of truth, I guess, um, in terms of getting your final temperature. Um, so what I want to do now actually is I'm going to flip you guys around, and let's go over here. Again, last I checked on the app, um, we were sitting at like 153. So we're probably getting close here. Yeah. So look at all this nice sort of caramelization here. I'm gonna temporarily stop this. It's kind of thick. So that okay. So that's actually reading like 170. Okay, 170, 70. Okay, 155. Okay, okay. So it's sort of a trade-off, right? Um, I would prefer that the internal be closer like to okay 156. Yeah. So let's turn this back on here. Um, let's get you guys a good look at that. Again, looking really nice there. But again, so like the outer parts are measuring closer like to 170 already. The nice thing about dark meat chicken is that like it's pretty forgiving. You can overcook it a little bit and it's still going to be fine. Um, but uh, but again, I I do prefer that the internal is sort of all be consistently cooked, I guess. So anyway, so if some of the outer parts do get a little bit, more cooked than the other parts, and that's okay with me. Um, I just don't want to get any sort of get any sort of salmonella. So, um, anyway, so I think we're caught up on the chat here. Again, this is my first stream, just going solo here. Um, I honestly did not know how this would go, but so I mean, other than that one sort of blackout that sort of came out of nowhere, I think things are pretty good actually for this first stream. So again, thank you all that have joined here. We'll still go here for another, I'll say like 10 minutes maybe. Maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. Again, basically, when these are done cooking, I'll take it back inside and then I'll show you sort of me chopping it up and everything like that. But we'll probably end it there at that point. So hopefully this has been entertaining. I don't think of myself as like an entertaining guy, to be honest. I don't join the streams all that much because I don't feel like I have a lot to add to the conversation. I think when I first started again, so just in case you, I guess, don't know, I mean, I was probably one of the first people that started to watch Archie when he first started live streaming. This was back in like 2015 or so, and I mean, I had watched Archie, um, like 2 or 3 years before that, just gaining general watch knowledge. I, I, I would say that I really started to get into watches around the time that the Black Bay first came out. So that was like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. Had a lot of shitters. I had a lot of Seikos. I had a lot of Citizens. Um, and, over time, like watching Archie and watching um, TVG, not TPG, TVG, they kind of taught me about sort of the higher, well, again, okay, so maybe not necessarily higher end brands, but the next logical step up, which would be like Omega, um, and like sort of things like that. Um, so I quickly went through sort of like my shooter watches, within like 2 years, I would say. And my first real true like watch was actually a Speedy reduced 38 or 39 millimeter one. I had that for about a week, and while it fit great on me and it looked nice, I immediately knew that I made a mistake. I I I didn't get the Pro, and I definitely felt that I didn't have the real thing. Like not that it was fake or anything, but I didn't have sort of like the Pro, sort of like the one like that everybody gets, right? I was going for the reduced because I have a smaller wrist. I haven't even shown my wrist today. I have the Datejust here, 36 mil. This is a great sort of everyday wear, man. I mean, sure. I mean, some like the bracelet is super loose. I do need to get it like serviced. I think the last time it was serviced was like in 2012. I got this in like 2015 or 2016. Um, this is actually my second. Well, it's okay. So it's actually like the watch that I've owned the longest. So that's like 8 years now, basically. Um, again, I mean, I do have a smaller wrist, and like 6.5 ish, maybe. And while the Speedy Pro was 42, I felt like, you know, I I need the real thing. So I had the reduced for literally 2 or 3 weeks. Um, After like that second week or so, well, okay, some like the thought of selling it and get the Pro was kind of like immediately on my mind, like not not too long sort of after I got it. But I ultimately kept it for a couple weeks, and in essentially what I did was I put it up for sale, like maybe like that third week, found a Japanese seller that was selling like a nice version, or sort of nice example of like the Speedy 1861 sort of movement. Um, and I pulled the trigger on that. Again, being from Japan, it took 2 or 3 weeks by itself just to get here. But again, when I unboxed that, I immediately felt like I got the much better one. I mean, again, it's it's a different movement, it's a different size, but it just felt so much more like what I should have gotten the first time, I guess. We have a couple comments from Evan here. So so I hand washed the Chef IQs. I have some aggressive scrubbies in there for there's some coke on there. I found the chunks of fat really fucked with the thermometers, but yeah, might do more burgers. Some people fire pizzas. I nuked the collection, Logan, down to one serious watch waiting for the call. I'll be a two watch. Yeah, hey, hey, I'm currently a two watch guy too. So currently I have the Datejust, and then I have the Zenith El Primo, as Arch likes to say. But that's the 38 mil again. This is 36. That's 38. Being a small wristed man, um, or boy, some might argue. Uh, I do have to pick my watches carefully, and I don't want to pick something that's going to look absolutely crazy. Like, but going back to like the Speedy Pro, it was a little big on me. I will admit that. But was it completely out of the realm of looking okay? I mean, I I felt like I could pull it off at the right angle, right? There's certain angles that it looks bad, like oh dude, that's way too big. Um, but there were other angles like he could pull it off. So what I want to do now, again, hopefully this doesn't kick me again. I'll find out whether it kicks me or not. But let's just check the temperature here. 156 internal. You know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to pull it at like 165. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I'm still in. Cool. Anyway, so what I'll probably do here is I will keep on letting it cook for like maybe like another 10 minutes. We'll get it up to like 165, and then I'll probably pull it, let it sit for a little bit. That'll probably get it to like 168, 170 or whatever. And then we'll start to slice in and sort of see how we did. We can do actually a quick sort of update here. Let's just see what they look like now. Let's flip you guys around. Yeah, so they're looking nice, and again, obviously there's going to be some here that are going to have like darker bits than other. That's why I typically try to keep everything tightly compacted, and I don't want anything that's like too dangly, I guess you would say. But again, there will be bits here that are a little bit overcooked. I can always just sort of cut those off, um, but again, that is looking very nice. So this is actually the first time that I'm using my own sort of a JoeTisserie. That's the sort of spinning attachment. The first time that I used a JoeTisserie was actually my neighbor's just across the street. He has a Kamado Joe too. I believe it's actually the same exact model as mine. Um, and, uh, and and again, so he took delivery of his about like 4 to 6 months ago, something like that. And like I saw it in his driveway when like the truck sort of dropped it off, and I was so jealous. I was like, oh man, I want one of those. Um, and so like I offered like to help him move it to like his back patio, and he said, yeah, sure. And so I got to learn about it there. I got to actually see it in person and ask questions about it and whatnot. And then that got me on the hunt for getting one myself. Um, I was, planning on essentially just, waiting until Black Friday, wait until a good deal comes around, and then pick one up. But I was looking at like Facebook Marketplace, like and things like that, and there would occasionally be, someone getting rid of theirs, and I did come across a guy in Franklin. Again, if you know anything about Tennessee, um, like the Franklin area of sort of Nashville is like very sort of uppity, very well to do, but anyway, there was a guy in there. He had bought it. He had used it like 5 times, and he was like, you know what, it's not for me. So he listed it at like literally half off of retail. And I said, okay, Logan, this is your opportunity, man. Go grab it. Um, and so thankfully, now, I mean, I drive a Lexus, like a Lexus sedan. So obviously that thing's not fitting in my car. I thankfully have a really nice neighbor over here, and he has a truck, and so I just kind of hit him up, like said, like, hey man, could you do me a solid, sort of help me get this back to my place? Like I paid him like $100 or whatever, um, and so yeah, so we got it back here, like pouring down rain, unfortunately, but I'm very happy I picked it up, and I mean, again, I've already used it like 2 or 3 times as more as the previous owner did, so it definitely went to a good home. But Evan, going back to your collection here, so you said you're down to one serious watch waiting on the call. Have you sold like your broad arrow, and I'm trying to remember sort of what else you have there. Um, but yeah, I mean you have like a pretty solid collection. Um, Now, if you were to sell sort of all of that, so like this has to be a really nice piece, right? Um, so so curious to hear about that a little bit more. The BGE distribution system is when someone moves, they leave their BGE behind because it's cheaper to buy a new one at their destination. Yeah, I mean, dude, like these things are no joke. These things are heavy, like 150, 200, like sort of 200 pounds or whatever. Um, you definitely need a team of at least two to locate these and move them. Um, but yeah, I mean, um, I think a lot of people end up listing these for cheap because they know that they can't get retail for it, and they know that someone has to be willing enough to, drive down here with, with a truck, or nobody, or, you know somebody with a truck, and take out 2 hours of the day, maybe 3 hours to come get it back to your place, right? So I do think that's why you see them pretty cheap, and I was able to sort of capitalize on it, right? Yeah, so he sold the 57 Broad Arrow, sold the Milgauss, and I sold the Guinness. Yes, the Guinness. That's right. Um, yeah, yeah, the Milgauss too. Oh, geez. Okay, so you must be getting something nice, man. But do let us know when that this call comes in. I am currently on the wait list for something right now. I don't want to give sort of too much away, um, but I am on the wait list for something. I actually just went to my AD yesterday to sort of check in with them. And anyway, the only hint that I'll give is it came out at this sort of past year's Watches and Wonders. Um, so um, so anyway, I'm sort of eagerly awaiting that. Again, so don't want to give away too much, but yeah, I am looking forward to that. I'll be a 3 watch guy again. I used to be a 3 watch guy. Like I think 3 is a really solid number. Um, I had for like the longest time I had a Tudor Black Bay ETA blue dial. Just felt like it was a little too top heavy for me. But it was a solid watch though. Again, I know that like OC and others absolutely despise tutors and whatnot. But again, for tutor's fine. I think tutor. There's a sort of a stipulation that people who buy tutor can't afford the Rolex. I think tutor is so much different than Rolex these days. That tutor serves a different purpose than Rolex does. It's not so much like, oh, tutor's just going to copy whatever Rolex is. No, I mean, Tudor has things like the North Flag and like sort of all these other things that Rolex doesn't have anything close to. And I think Tudor, again, it serves a different purpose. You know, it's not so much a cheaper Rolex. It's for a watch that you can, I guess, not be afraid of beating up so much, right? Um, they are sort of tool watches, right? I mean, I think Tudor is only valuable for their men's line. Again, don't ever look at women's Tudor. I mean, if you do buy a women's Tudor, then something's wrong with you. Even if you're okay, so even if you're buying it for your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, um, still something's messed up with you if you're buying a women's Tudor because they have no idea how to make a woman's watch. So go to go to Rolex for that. Sort of go to sort of a Patek or whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, now again, so like Tudor's men's line is 95% Black Bay, some kind of variation of Black Bay, right? So I mean it. Um, but again, you could sort of make the argument that like Rolex has like a bunch of variations of the sub, right? So again, I mean, it's like a sort of battle back and forth. Evan, let's see what he said. Yeah, I don't have a timeline, but I was told that the next time my AD has an allocation to request something specific, that it'll be my request. So sitting on that cache, waiting for that. I got to see the new Tudor Coconut. Nice. It still wears a bit thick, but because of the slab side bit, it was really nice. Okay, nice. I have not seen that in person yet, and again, I mean, I'm very interested in that actually. Um, let's. It's been about 7 minutes or so. I'm gonna go off camera again and check my app. Let's see. Okay, we're sitting at 162. Um, so let's give it like another like 5 minutes or so. Uh, Now I'm back here. Does it turn my camera off? Yeah. Okay, there it is. Um, so so Evan, what? Because like you mentioned, like you went to like a brewery earlier. Uh, again, I'm not a huge beer guy, but again, if if someone takes me to a place that like they really appreciate and you know they think very highly of, then I'll give it a shot. I mean, I think beer can be kind of like wine, or sort of Scotch in a sense, or sort of whiskey in a sense that um, it's very much something that you can find your exact taste for. Um, you can follow different sort of breweries or sort of distilleries and whatnot, very much like how you would follow certain vineyards and sort of whatnot. But again, I just think beer is a lot of empty calories, honestly. I mean, and it like it doesn't do a lot for me. But again, every so often I will have one, right? But it's just not usually for me, I guess. I'm much more of a Scotch and wine guy. So let's see. I don't think there was any more. I think we're caught up on chats. Um, but again, I mean, I'll again, I'll be a 3 watch guy here sometime before the end of the year. And that'll be nice. Um, I mean, I don't think I finished my story. So for like the longest time, I had I had a Tudor Black. That's a tough one. Black Bay
uh, ETA sort of blue dial. So like the first version like that came out. I owned that for like 9 months, and eventually it really just felt like a brick on my wrist. Now, I mean, I do like a nice sort of heavy weighted watch, but not to the extent that what I was feeling with, with a with a Black Bay. I mean, like it truly felt like I was doing like some arm or sort of wrist sort of workouts, with that thing. And I also had the Speedy 1861, and then I had this, right. That was my three piece for a very very long time, like several years. Um, I eventually, well, okay. Well, I mean, I take it back about like the Tudor, right? Because I said that like I owned that like for 9 months. I When I sold the Tudor, I ended up getting the new Seamaster Pro 300M with the with a new ceramic dial, right? So that was like 2019 or 2020 ish. I definitely really really like that watch. So again, so that watch gets some hate uh, because it's a, well, I guess two reasons. One, it has the helium escape valve, and then two, the bracelet doesn't taper, right? So it's just sort of like the same throughout. Um, I mean, the only thing that kind of got to me was the whole taper part. I mean, yes, I think it would have felt nicer and it would have looked better if it did taper. But again, I mean, it didn't bother me, I guess, too much. I guess. Um, so, like, so that's the thing. Like, you know, when when we go out, like, and like we look for watches that like we want to buy, there's always going to be some kind of compromise. I mean, rarely do you find a watch that checks every single box. You know, I think I think there's, you sort of have to, you know, find the watch that has the most check marks checked, and then you buy that. I mean, again, the whole tapering bracelet didn't sort of bother me too much. I didn't mind the sort of like the sort of helium escape valve or whatever, but those were things that people often sort of complain about. Right? Let's see, Evan G. Yeah, the Milgauss was my longest serving watch for 3 years. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's funny, right? Like for me to own this 8 years, I'm like, wow, that's a long time, because I mean, it's definitely like a miracle, if Buckley keeps a watch for more than a month, right? No, like he does have like his Datejust 2, the blue dial, it's really nice. I believe he said that was like his wedding watch, right? So he can't sell that. But if it wasn't his wedding watch, would he still have it? That's the big question. Um, I don't know how long he's going to keep. Uh, what is it, like the 5396? I'm really not good with the textual references. Um, like the main Patek that I like is like the 3970 and the 5970. Um, I think the 5970 is maybe a little too big for me. So again, I would prefer a 3970. But again, some like all the sort of popular ones like the 5711 and sort of all, I mean, those I do know. But there's just too many for me to keep up with, and it's like the way that like Tan and sort of Archie sort of just say it like it's like a second language. I'm like, holy shit, man, how do you do that? Let's see. Yeah, the Milgauss longest serving watch, 3 years. I ran into the fact that I tend to. Let's see. Sorry, I just got a notification. I ran into the fact that I tend to only wear one watch in my collection, and the rest just sat there, and I felt like I had to force myself to wear it. Yeah, exactly. So I figured down to one nice watch. Datejust is versatile; you can wear it anywhere with it. Yeah, I'm sort of wearing this while doing barbecue, right? I mean, I wear it with jeans. I wear it in shorts. Uh, the only downside is like my family doesn't understand the watch thing at all, uh, which is actually I guess like fairly normal. I would say that if if I told my family sort of how much I spent on this, like they would be like, "Oh my gosh, why did you spend that much on?" I mean, they think anything more than an Apple Watch is absolutely ludicrous, right? So I think it's just a different value system, and it's also sort of like a generational thing. Like I would say, um, my parents are not very sort of, sort of, sort of materialistic or anything. Like they don't hold on to really nice. I mean, like the only example that I can give is like holding on to nice jewelry from my mom. Maybe a relative passed or something, and she keeps that. But they both drive very modest cars, like a Toyota, I guess, and it's just not really in their sort of DNA to own nice things or But I guess like they do have a nice house and everything, and I guess like that's what they kind of splurged on, I guess. But I think to any of your friends or sort of like family, um, if you ever shared sort of how much you're spending on watches, then they will sort of banish you from the family again. Anyway, let me check the temperature again. We're getting close here. 168. Okay, I think that's probably good enough to pull off. To be honest, let me go back to the stream. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm looking at my wife's perspective is as long as it makes you happy and doesn't ruin our finances. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, again, I mean, I'm not married. I'm a bachelor, but again, it's kind of nice because I can just make all all the decisions for myself. I'm not tied down by any other person's opinion or whatever, uh, or needing to allocate certain funds here or there, whatever. I mean, I do manage my finances sort of on my own, and I know when I'm overspending or sort of stretching myself, um, and I just don't put myself into those situations. I mean, um, so to be in this hobby, you do have to be smart with your money. Like you can't just throw everything on a credit card and hope to pay it off in 2 years. I mean, you know, like I guess like the general rule of thumb is you can afford the watch if you can afford to buy it 3 times, right? Uh, or sort of comfortably buy it 3 times, right? Um, that's typically what I go by. I mean, sometimes I might get stretched a little bit, but again, just be smart with your money and don't 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 sort of put yourself in a situation where you're gonna where you're gonna where you're gonna sort of regret it, later down the road. Okay, I think we are finally ready to pull these guys off. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my. Oh, there's the other glove. Okay. I'm gonna get these puppies on, and I'll flip this around actually, so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So there's the meter, by the way. So it has to be close to the grill. And let's do. And I can never remember which way to put these on. Okay. Yeah, so they're getting quite crispy now. I'm probably going to chop off some of the more well done bits there, but let's go ahead and turn this off. And I'm going to take this inside. I'm going to come back and get you guys here in like 2 seconds. So I'll be right. Okay, I'm back. Let's actually, you know what? I'll just leave all that out here. Here's my floor, and I will turn you guys around and have you face this. Whoops. Okay, now I've dropped you. Let me let's reposition that. Let's put you here. All right, that's pretty good actually. Okay, so let's start to detach these things. I'm gonna take the shades off. I'm gonna put one of these gloves back on real quick just to unscrew these things. Okay, let's get the other side. All right, I probably actually will need both of these. I'm gonna pull these off here. Let's first take out the probe. Again, I'll probably hand wash that a little bit later on. Here's a spit. And check out what we have. So again, I'll kind of show that up close. Again, some of the sides got a little bit, more charred than I would like. But again, the internal here, nice, dark, not overcooked or anything. So what I'll do now, let's actually remove this foil. And we can just kind of shred these off because they're going to be chopped up anyway, right? So let's put that over here. And all right. So this is our haul. This is what we got. I'm going to grab one of my nicer knives. So something that I want to get more into is Japanese chef knives. I do have a Con knife here, and again, I don't know if that's showing up or not. But this is a really nice 8-inch sort of chef knife, sort of pressed steel, sort of the Damascus steel, I guess you would say. I got this for Christmas several years ago and really like it. But I do want to get more knives, though. So I'm going to kind of roughly chop this up. I do want to. I'm probably not going to keep these like super dark bits. Thankfully, my board is actually positioned pretty close to the sink. I'm just going to toss some of that in there, and I'll kind of pick those up later. But again, this is what we got here. Nice, juicy. Let's try it. Really, really good. Really good. That yeah, some like the spices that I put into it earlier really come out. I did sort of like an overnight sort of a marinade in it, basically. That was the right move. If you again, if you do have time to do a marinade, then by all means do it. If you don't have the time, then just sort of straight up seasoning is fine too. But let's get into this. Again, I'm going to use this for tacos tonight, and then I'm going to make some salads with it later on during the week. But this is definitely a good haul, and again, this will last me pretty much the whole week, I would say. Again, I try not to overeat. I'm not the thinnest guy right now. I'll definitely sort of admit to that. But I do want
I guess, be a bit healthier going forward and, you know, not completely gorge myself. My family kind of has a history of that a little bit, and kind of went into me, um, but again, I want to be that change, right? So anyway, I think that's pretty well and good, actually. So again, I'll give you guys another look here. Then I'll probably go upstairs to end things. Let's go here. Yeah, so that's what we got here. Trying to do a close up here. Oops, I think I lost. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's what we got. So again, thanks, guys. Whoops. Let's flip. Geez, I'm all over the place. So again, thanks, guys, for sort of hanging out with me this afternoon. Again, I'll probably do more of these just when I feel like it. I mean, I'm not going to stick to any, specific schedule or anything like that. This is just my way of sort of hanging out with you guys as I cook. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.